Um, yeah, that's our team. So the purpose of this call, we want to offer y'all a platform, and we also want to offer y'all information and just to be like a touch point throughout the entire year. Advisors are the unsung heroes of our clubs, right? They're at every meeting, they're advising our student leaders, but sometimes we don't connect with them as we should. So these calls are an opportunity for us to touch base, face to face with y'all and get that personal connection. So just kind of an overview of what we're going to do tonight. We'll go over some general international updates, 10 minutes max, go over a couple of the resources that we have available to you all, and then we'll open up for discussion. So we have a couple of discussion questions to allow y'all to share ideas and collaborate and really just share the experiences that y'all have had coming into this semester and also in your previous experiences being advisors, whether that's a Kiwanis advisor or a faculty advisor. Does anyone have any questions before we begin with some updates? Awesome. So I'll start with the first two updates. So next week is the greatest week of the year. It is CKI week. So CKI week is a celebration of CKI. It's a social media campaign that we ask all of our clubs to participate in. Your clubs in our various newsletters or in just individual outreach from your governors should receive information on how to participate. But there's 6 days of CKI week, all centered around different themes. And you can find more information on CKI week at circlek.org/events/CKI week. Also, we're gonna send a follow-up email with all of these links and information after this call. So y'all will have that to refer back to. The second point of information that I have for you all is our WASH project. So for those of you that don't know, WASH is our international partnership with UNICEF to bring clean and sustainable water to Haiti. It's our fundraising initiative. This is the final year of the initial campaign that we started in 2017. And we have a goal this year to raise $55,555 to celebrate the 5th year. But October is special because it's Trick or Treat for UNICEF month. So, it's really just an opportunity to raise more money for WASH and to have various Halloween themed resources, as well as, additional support from our Kiwanis family partners. Pass it off to our Vice President Leah for our next couple of updates.
Yeah, so just a little bit first about our Tomorrow Fund. So our Tomorrow Fund opens on October 1st and it will close on December 1st. So for anyone who has never heard about Tomorrow Fund, it is a reimbursement grant that allows, your clubs as well as districts overall to earn money from a service project. Typically, these can be either awarded about $200 to $2,000. Again, the application will open October 1st and will close on December 1st. And it is important to stress that this is a reimbursement fund, so these projects must be completed and we must see proof of completion before they go out. Yeah, so in order to apply when that comes out, you'll just need to make sure that member is good standing, a description of the project, as well as certain things like a sample budget and any supplementary information that you think will be important to help us make the decision on the project. If anybody is interested in a little few more steps on that, I do have some PowerPoints and resources from the service committee of last year that I can send out as well. Other than that, we do still have our service initiatives, which have carried over from last year. They are currently childhood development, environmental justice, which includes the WASH program that Kyle was talking about, food insecurity and homelessness, and mental health. Mental health, we just saw a town hall with Active Minds, and these are something we really try to stress this year instead of the typical service partners that we normally do. So that way it opens up a more variety of things you can do, and it's a bit more open instead of saying you have to work with a specific partner.
Awesome. Thank you, Leah. Jeff?
Great. Thank you, Kyle and Leah. I just wanted to put on your radar screen, in addition to all the resources that Kyle and Leah have talked about, which are available on our website and in the newsletters if you're not getting those or if they're going to your spam, but all this information and links to all this is in your newsletters. But just for your calendar purposes, and again, we'll do this in the follow-up email, Youth Protection Week is coming up in October 11th through the 15th. So please be looking for information on that. Also, planning a little bit further down the road, we are going to be, knock on wood, in Austin, Texas for our convention this coming summer. So we're really looking forward to that. That will be July 27th, which is a Sunday. July 24th, which is a Sunday through Wednesday, July 27th. So we'll be putting out more information on that, but we would love to have as many clubs participate as possible. We think you'll be pleased with the cost associated with the convention as we try to bring everyone together. So again, we've been putting on information on that, but more is to come. With that, I'll hand it over to Michelle to talk about global leadership and homecoming.
All right. Well, I'm going to talk really quick about homecoming, because if you're on this call, you're an advisor who's in a CKI club who is more than likely already back together in meetings. So everybody raise your right hand. Come on, I can see you. Put it behind your back. Give yourself a big old pat on the back. So well done, you. However, we have some more clubs out there to activate. So we have a whole series of resources. We have templates and letters. We have phone scripts. We have everything you might need to help your district reactivate the rest of the CKI clubs. So CKI was in a much better position than any of our other SLPs. They're only missing about 115 chapters throughout the organization. And so I know Kyle and Leah and all of our students have been working hard to reactivate that, but I'm going to drop a link in the chat where you can find all of the materials in case you want to take a peek. So one of the things that we've been working on throughout our little pandemic project is called the Global Leadership Certificate. And last year we piloted this program. We had 3 courses, and it's a program for Key Club and Circle K. Although obviously Circle K collegiate students have a much higher level of rigor in the program. And so we are releasing 22 new courses this year in October, November. Technology, I hate to pinpoint the date because then I'll be wrong, but sometime before Thanksgiving, there will be 22 new courses that you can be thankful for and take. And all of the courses lead up into a global leadership certificate. We're working with a third-party accreditation body to get this, certified and accredited by experts outside of Kiwanis, but we're very excited. I think my cat's trying to break out over there. We're very excited about this program. We think it's a real value add for our students, and you'll get to see Kyle and Leah starring in some of the videos to promote the work. So stay tuned for that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. And then just to finally round out the points of information session or part of this. So it's a couple of the resources that we have available for y'all. On our website, and this link will be in the follow-up email. We have an awesome advisor guide. Oh yeah, Jeff's gonna run through while I talk. We have an awesome advisor guide that basically shows you anything you need to know as an advisor from the technical standpoint. Yeah, it's in the advisors tab on the website, and again, we'll send the link for that. We have a Facebook group, so a lot of y'all are in that. Being here tonight, which thank you for joining the Facebook group. But we have a network of advisors that are a part of this Facebook group where you can share ideas, talk about your club projects, or hear any international updates in between these roundtable sessions, right? So just a way for us to really connect with y'all on a personal basis. We have a newsletter coming out for advisors. I think Jeff, is that a bi-monthly or?
Yeah, it'll be bi-monthly, yes.
Bi-monthly, yeah. So we have a bi-monthly newsletter for advisors with any points of information that we have for y'all, with roundtable updates, anything like that. And then finally, we have an online training for advisors coming in the near future down the pipeline for y'all, especially new advisors, but also existing advisors to brush up on your skills or, just get any online training, on-demand training. So with that, we're going to open it up to our open forum. So this is the meat and potatoes of the call. This is an opportunity for y'all. Sorry, I don't know why I use that. Sorry, but this is an opportunity for y'all to, discuss, share ideas. And I have a couple of guiding questions for us for our discussion. But the power in this is the experience. So please feel free to share your experiences as an advisor, and we can all learn from those. So I'm going to start with the first question. So how do you encourage and grow leaders within your clubs? Question. I got it, Brian.
Sorry, Kyle, can you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, how do you grow and encourage leaders within your clubs?
Well, I'll respond. In my Circle K club, I think what really inspired our members was to attend, a meeting with other clubs, other college districts, other colleges, and they'd get all fired up and inspired, and encourage others to get more active. I think that was positive. The other thing, they were very involved in the student body government organization at the college, and really took on a leadership role there. It's interesting. This club is only 4 years old, and in years 2 and 3, people were elected to be lieutenant governor in our division. So they were very outgoing. But I'll say this, that everything has kind of collapsed a bit. The COVID thing. The new leadership came in, and I was not involved in their Zoom meetings. I attended every meeting before that in person, and they made a decision to abolish the club. So now I'm really stuck on getting it going, because they were just outstanding. They did so many wonderful projects, and we were very proud of them. Anyway, somebody else might have a similar experience. Speak up. I gotta get this thing going again.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brian. I'm from Stockton University, New Jersey. I'm sorry to hear that, Floyd, that you're in that position. I hope you can make it work. I know for us, one of the things that I'm testing out this year is I've created an executive board member position in training to try to allow some of the younger, less seasoned students the opportunity to have a position that talks with the e-board, meets during their meetings that they have separate of the general member meetings, and is, not necessarily making the decisions, but gets to be a part of listening to them talk about it and start to see and get a feel for what it's like to be in that one, pillar of leadership. And so far, so good. It's really been eye-opening for the person who's running in that position. And I already have a couple people who came in for our first general member meeting. They asked, what's this person doing? What's their position? And they're like, wow, so you can learn to be a leader before you have to be a leader. And so I really feel like there's a good way to maybe capitalize on providing some of those, whether it's a committee chair position, something like that, so that they don't feel overwhelmed and scared about going for it, building in some kind of a natural succession plan, so that people are succeeding each other rather than just scrambling to say, all right, well, we got an editor position, who hasn't been chosen yet. So that's really so far been kind of a neat thing over the summer and into the fall for us.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian and Floyd. David?
Yes, as Kiwanis Advisors, we need to make sure our Kiwanis Club support Circle Kers going to all the leadership things that are available by making sure that they have the finances to do it. Because I think I've been told college students aren't rich people. So as a Kiwanis Club, just make sure you budget enough money to send enough kids to go to all those leadership events. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, David. David Whitaker.
Hi, good afternoon, guys. Yeah, so I think one of the most important things that we have out here in San Diego is the presence of our advisors. You have to be present with the Circle K members and provide them that leadership and that mentorism. Even though they're very autonomous in what they do, I think it's important for us to be present and be there at their meetings, be there at their activities. We also encourage any Kiwanians to come in and do workshops with the Circle K kids when they have certain things they want to, have training on. We also encourage them using the resources on the website. Encourage them to read, even if they're not building a new club, to read about building a new club, even though they don't know anything about dues. Go in and read the bylaws, because those resources are there, and a lot of the members don't know that. They don't know how to go in and read up on this stuff. So I think just education about our own internal operations is very important, on top of us being present for them as advisors.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Michael Murray.
Everyone, as Kyle said, my name is Michael Murray. I'm the advisor to the Rutgers University Circle K Club. So I see Kyle quite often. So I think as an advisor, it's really kind of understanding your leaders are going to be different every year and knowing their leadership style and how to best interact with that. So it kind of keeps me on my toes in regards to best ways to interact with each president and executive board each year. Along with that, another thought I had in regards to the funding issue, and always trying to get as much as we can, and wording is always key when asking for money, especially from universities. I actually thought I know everything with international or the Educational Leadership Conference. I actually think that's a better name for it, because I think a school or a outside agency is more likely to fund something called that as opposed to a convention. If they see that it's a leadership educational conference, I know CKX was created because it's supposed to be all encompassing, but when, a school kind of just sees that on its front, they really don't know what it means. And there's really little interaction to have those conversations because it's kind of just explaining it. So I actually wanted to throw that out there when that was brought up, of maybe something discussions to have going forward is to leave it named the Educational Leadership Conference.
Thank you, Michael. Jay?
You're talking to me now? I don't want to, I'm having some difficulties because I'm in a 2-year school. Potomac State College is a 2-year feeder school into West Virginia University. And the problem I have is that a lot of students don't get involved. They don't realize that how important community service is until their second year. So I get students who come in, they join, and then of course they graduate the same year, and I'm left with no officers, no leaders to carry over into the next year. And the ones who join as freshmen occasionally will step up then, but most of them are not freshmen. And so that's one issue. And so, but I do find that the students who are interested in leadership do step up. And a lot of them had leadership experience in high school, if not with Circle or with Key Club. I mean, occasionally I'll get a Key Clubber who joins Circle K, but a lot of the time they say, well, I was secretary of the chess club or something, just any leadership they've had in the past. Then they were interested in transferring that to Circle K. So that's been helpful, but sometimes it's hard to motivate the officers. They want to get involved, but then they don't really know what to do. And because we're a 2-year school, like I said, it's hard to get ourselves going in the fall because I more or less have to recruit from complete scratch. And it's even worse this year because the club was inactive due to COVID last year. And so the problem I have is that by the time I can recruit enough members to get the club going, it's already mid-October and the leadership conference is already over and it's too late to send anybody. That's my problem. Can you help us? Can you give me suggestions?
I'm going to call on Joey, who is actually an advisor of a 2-year school that's pretty successful, to help.
Hey, Jay. So yeah, I'm the advisor of a community college, Brookdale Community College over here, and I completely understand you. It's a wave, as I like to always say. There was always that wave. I normally have a 4-year wave of a wave up, and then it's about a 2-year slant down, and then 4 years wave up. We're on the 2-year slant down right now to try to build it back up. One way that I just, getting back to the original question, one way that I encourage my students, whenever I can get a full board and everything like that, I always tell them there's no bad ideas, because the one good thing that I like to say with the 2-year college is that everything is constantly changing with our club. What we were focused on 2 years ago could be a continuing focus, but we get new students every 2 years, so we can continue focusing on what's really relevant to the students at that time. As far as trying to find new students, we're in the same predicament, Jay. So the best thing I could do, I am actually in the process of emailing our students from last year that didn't graduate. I have about 4 left over from the amount that we had. But really, it's getting them to go to school and actually recruiting and telling everybody that there's this great service club, that we're open to any sort of ideas of doing community service and helping out in our community. Would you like to join? Another way that we've gotten members in the past, just to give you a little thing, is there's an honors club on our campus, and a lot of members of the honors club need service hours. So quite a number of them were members of both clubs. And we also teamed up with other clubs around campus, just to see, just to help out with different projects. And we got a few members from that, but I completely get you, Jay. If anybody else has any ideas, I would be open to that too.
Anyone else, an advisor to your school? Curtis? Does anyone have any? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we're a brand new club. We just kicked off last month, but we're at a 2-year community college, and we're in the process of trying to recruit students. Our school has had 3 weeks consecutive of club fairs, and then last week they had another club fair type event. We've been present at every one. I've been lucky because I have 3 other Kiwanis members from my club who have helped me. I'm signed up as the advisor, but we've had a total of 4 Kiwanians at every one of the club fair events, and we've had pretty good success. We've had about 40 kids say they were interested. We've had as many as 15 or so show up for the meeting. So we're trying to figure out why 40 kids say they're interested, but only 14 show up when we actually meet.
Do anyone have any success recruiting recently? Any success stories with recruiting they can share? I think that really helps to your schools. Or if you have any specific to your school success stories. Yeah.
Kyle. Kyle,
Yeah.
This is Tom DiGiulio. I'm a past Circle K administrator and current Circle K advisor to the Circle K Club at Fordham University in New York, celebrating 51 years. I was there at the beginning, and notwithstanding other titles I've achieved in Kiwanis over the years, the best title I've had is Circle K Advisor. So what we've done is to connect alumni, Circle K alumni, with the new Circle K members. In fact, Fordham will be having its homecoming. Thank goodness it will be a live on-campus event rather than virtual. And we will be connecting current Circle K members with past Circle K members who will tell their stories, how they were inspired to do service through Circle K at, of course, the same school. This may work for Circle Ks that have been around as long as we have, but it's something to consider because obviously, we're trying to build leaders, we're trying to build their careers, and if they hear it from their former members of Circle K, they will hopefully be inspired to move on in the organization, and we've had folks that inspire them by their current activities on Broadway, their Broadway careers. They're working on the immigration problems on the borders, and so they can bring something to the current Circle K members, that they belong to an organization that had leaders developed over many years. And I think you also get the support. This connection can be supported by the alumni associations at the college and universities. We were fortunate to get the Fordham University Alumni Office to establish an affinity, Fordham Circle K affinity club. So they are the ones that are going to be invited to have a special table at homecoming, and that I think that might help bring something to the current membership.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. So, being an advisor, for a while. What advice would you give to new administrators or new advisors? I'll open up to everyone. What advice would you give to a new advisor on the call tonight?
If no one else is going to speak, I'm going to say, don't give up. Don't get frustrated. Because if you're changing one life, you're changing the world. We all believe that. And Circle K is an opportunity. And I'm going to go on the limb here, and I'm saying the future of Kiwanis is going to be Circle K and those that pass through the Circle K organization. I think we have to find ways to make that happen. But and we're finding more in our, and thank God we're doing, still have we just had a membership roundup at the campus, you know, for the campus club fair, and they signed up 200. Now, do 200 show up at the first meeting? No, but 35, 40, and more than half of them were key clubbers. And so reaching out, bridging key clubs, trying to work with the admissions office to see if you can, without violating any rules of the see if you can get former key clubbers to be contacted. You know, they put the key club on the applications. We're very fortunate in our Fordham Kiwanis right on the campus. We're able to have a member of our Kiwanis club who is director of admissions. So that's another way to connect with former key clubbers. But that's the advice I would give. Don't give up.
Thank you, Tom. Sue?
Good evening. I would highly advise or recommend that anybody that's a new advisor is to, spend time with the Circle K board. One of the things that I always do is try to meet with them. We usually meet over the summer as well, but even if it's just on Zoom, but to meet with them, and every once in a while I take them out for coffee, or I take them out for dinner, and just that little bit of extra time you spend with them to get to know them so they feel comfortable talking to you. It just seems to be, because we're part of the family, right? You're like, I'm here. If you need something, please call me. I don't care what time the phone call rings at 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever. If you need something, I'm here to help you. And I think listening to them and what they're going through, right? I mean, it's a tough time in their life as well, but listening to them for what's happening in their life. And, sometimes you just pick up things. They're like, there's that sense that they need something, right? And that they just need, sometimes, especially if they're away from home, they just need another adult. They need someone that, I hate to say it, but it becomes a mother or a father figure for them that can help them. And I just think having that access and that relationship with them really strengthens, because they feel now they can come to me if they need something that they may sometimes think is trivial, but in reality is we can help them move through. I know I help them move through a lot of red tape at the university. Thanks.
Thank you, Sue. Does anyone have any other advice to new advisors?
I'll add knowing your school's kind of policies, specifically as it relates to room reservations. Like, so at Rutgers, you can reserve a room up to a year in advance. And really for our larger events, you need to do it exactly on that day. Because if you don't, like, there's 4 student centers, they're gone like within that week. So, I'm always reminding our new club officers, it was like, you can do it a year in advance. Like, basically that night of that event, it's a year. I'm like, that night we're reserving the room for next year's events. So that's like an example. And Rutgers just has some very strange policies in regards to like food, like baking, sales, stuff like that, like what you have to use, like with like lemonade too, just some of the strangest rules you would never expect. Like you have to have like the certain type of spoon you have to use to mix it. Like the policies are crazy. They're obviously, yes. Well, Coke now, it used to be Pepsi, right? And yeah, especially, I see Serena's now saying the overnight travel, especially now knowing your school's travel policies as it relates to everything with COVID. Rutgers still isn't 100% sure. They're like, we don't have anything set yet. We'll let you know. And we have, our fall event coming up in 2 months, and we have no idea if we'll be able to use the funding that we got for that. So yeah, just being on top of all of your school's policies and procedures.
Thank you, Michael. Trustee Chelsea. Then I'll.
Hi, Prez, and good evening to everyone. Obviously, I'm not an advisor, but what I will say, having kind of experienced a transition with 3 advisors. When I first came on as president, we just switched over to one, and then in my second year as president, we got another one. And what I will say for sure is being present and the energy that you bring, like you feel like we feel as if you want to be there. Like for sure, like, I mean, I've had good advisors before, but the one that we have now, she's excellent. Like I wanted to plan a training for the incoming board, and it was only a couple of days. I'm just like, but I don't know if you were gonna say yes. And she literally told me, let's just ask. Like the least they can do is say no, right? And from then I was just like she has a passion, and we can see through if an advisor is just there to hold a position versus if they're there that they actually care. So that's for sure one thing that I would say, just be really caring and genuinely want, to hold a position and have the best interest for Circle K members at heart.
Thank you, Chelsea. Brian, you want to go?
I think the one thing I would add to someone who's a newer advisor that's just starting up is find the space to treat them like the young adults they are. Don't put them in a corner, a box of saying, well, you're like just a little bit of an older key clubber. You're just, you're only 18. Getting rid of that onlys is a really important thing, I feel, because I found that if you give them the space to start to actually grow into adulthood and actually start to, spread their wings a little bit in being adults, they might surprise you and be adults. And I try to have that interaction with them because, they just got through with, 12 years of school where they were put down in a space where they are the learnee. They are the person who is supposed to sit there, be quiet, and not step out of their comfort zone. And they get to college, and now all of a sudden, the financial decisions, while they might not be paying it in all times, they're the ones who are making those decisions. They're the ones that are responsible for their actions. They're the ones that'll go before the campus hearing board. They're the ones that pick their housing. They're the ones that pick their so on and so forth. If they can have a space where they can actually make some of those decisions in a controlled environment where you're their advisor and you could, say like, that's a great idea, but here's how we have to do it at the school. But yeah, let's try to see if we can do that. Not making them feel as though that it's just, that you're the only person, you're the only game in town telling them that they're still kids. It goes a long way. At least in my experience, it's gone a tremendous long way. And actually as a result, and one of the biggest things for a young advisor that's just starting out to know is these people become your friends as when they graduate, they'll stay in touch and then they'll come back and speak at events. The two, I guess now it's 2 governors ago in New Jersey, District of Circle K, I talk with her nightly. I talk with her, several times a day, and she comes back and she talks to the e-board and she, starting to build those relationships where they can feel like, you're on their level and they're up to yours rather than saying you're going quote down to their level. It can make a huge difference and make some people in the room go, you know what? I'm going to see if I can grow here.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Does anyone have any other piece of advice?
Well, I'll just say that, your relationship with the officers of the club once they're established is very important. You have to kind of feel out though, as an advisor, once the club really gets going and they start actually coming up with ideas and implementing them and so on, and you're there to help them, forget his name, Michael said about knowing the policies of the college you're at. That's really important because the students don't know any of that stuff. And even you might not know all of the policies, but that's important. But then to step back and let them grow the club themselves and to find what they want the club's identity to be is very important. But sometimes you get a stronger president one year and they really motivate everybody, and you really don't, you're just there to listen and maybe like offer occasional advice. But then there's other times really the president needs a bit of a push to keep people motivated and to, get things done. But you have to find that relationship between you and the Circle K board that you have that year.
So Jay and Michael kind of alluded to this a little bit, but having different leaders from year to year, right? So sometimes there's a leader
Yeah,
that's
right.
really motivated, and sometimes there's a leader that you have to push a little bit. As an advisor, how do you make that push without overstepping?
I basically ask them questions. I ask them, what do you think? How do you think we could best do this? Who do you think from the other officers could support you on your decisions, on your project, on this project? That kind of thing, so that they come up with the answers, but you pose the right questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay. And then kind of to circle back to Floyd a little bit in the beginning here, has anyone built, a club from scratch or had, no officer team? How did you overcome that? Has anyone had that experience?
Well, I didn't say it before, but I'm a advisor to a community college club on the Central Coast of California. And I was the one that really started the club. I worked, well, I have an advantage. I was a dean at the college. I was there for, 36 years. I was on the founding faculty. So I had a lot of relationships already going for me. And, I work with the college president and with members, of the faculty and this kind of thing, and got the club going. And I had 4 other members from my Kiwanis club to help out. So we were always at the Club Rush Day, which students, go through our main, the main walkway on campus. We have our Kiwanis canopy up, and students were really awesome in terms of interacting with the other students and with their tablets and everything, saying, hey, sign up here, and they get going. Well, that's missing right now. Okay. It's like this COVID thing, bang, the club just disappeared. So I've really essentially got to start over again.
Yeah. We'll do Joey and then Jody.
Okay. So yeah, I rebuilt our club at Brookdale a couple of times now. One of the things that I try to utilize is to have the students bring their friends to meetings as as the time goes on throughout the year and everything, to try to get not that I don't want the club to be cliquey at all, but I want them to bring in friends and then them to bring in friends. And that's kind of how we've kept the club going, in the past. One of the other things, like I said, to try to find a new person. I think someone had put it in the chat. I'm not sure, it was a little bit earlier, that the club fairs are one of the most important things. That's where you will get, I know everybody has lists of 50 to 100. We've got that too. And you get, 10 or 15 to come, but you have that 1, 2, or 3 dedicated students. That is the most important part that I found in getting a club rejuvenated and revitalized and everything at the campus. Because once you get that one person that is passionate about doing service, and they know that you're there to work with them, you're not there to tell them what to do, you're there to work with them and to help them along. You're there to encourage them as far as their ideas and things like that. You all be working together, and when it does work out and you have a fully functioning club, it's a fantastic relationship. But yeah, finding that 1, 2, or 3 people on campus. At our community college, what we've done too is we can't get the list of key clubbers, past key clubbers that are there, but we've actually had the student office send out an email that if anybody is a past key clubber, to please contact our president or whatever. And then when we have signups, we always have whether they are past key clubbers and things like that. It's a way that we've tried to promote the club on campus, and it's worked in the past. We've had quite a few number of past key clubbers, but also you just need that one person that 1, 2, or 3 people that have desire to really help out their community.
Thank you, Joey. And then Jody.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jody Welser. I am the Carnegie Mellon University's advisor, along with the new Pennsylvania District co-administrator. We have had, with regard to CMU, we have an extremely strong counterpart in our faculty advisor. And we had to build up a couple times from scratch. And we were lucky enough that this individual was able to help us with students that he was seeing in his classroom or, around the university that, he could recommend and say, hey, have you ever thought about Circle K? This is what they do. This is, what it is. And, we've been able to grow that from the ground up. And he has been, a wonderful collaborator. Within the district, we just chartered Teal College this year. And in that situation, it was a little bit different because we were actually it was actually the key clubbers at Teal that were reaching out looking for help to build the Circle K club. I think we have, out of the 20 members, I think half of them are past key clubbers and past district board members of Key Club, which is pretty awesome. So, it's been, a great experience on both sides. It's not an ideal situation that comes along very often, but in that scenario, it actually worked out really great.
Awesome. Thank you, Jody. And we're excited to have you in Pennsylvania, by the way. Congratulations.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
So just kind of round it off here, our board and our staff members, we're really committed this year to providing advisors with more support. That's something that we recognize in the past that might have been lacking on, or we've been lacking on. So we want to, have a renewed support for y'all. So I'm going to open it up now. What can we do to better support you? What do you need to be successful from us? So the question is, what do you need from CKI to be successful as an advisor?
I think this is a great first step, Kyle. It's a great first step to have us starting to see each other, starting to see there's other people out there who have ideas, and putting us in a position where we can start connecting with each other to work together a little bit towards this as well. So thank you.
I would echo what Brian said. I think just the opportunity to see other advisors, and whether it's to throw a question out here or there, or, even in the Facebook group, like, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. Anybody have any ideas, or what do you think about, the, I just think that there's the opportunity to talk is very, very helpful.
Thank you, sir.
Can I just say something sort of out of left field here? One of the things that I talked to so we just had a Circle K meeting today. And while I have 6 members, only 3 of them showed up, but they had some good ideas. But what we said, we thought that it is easier. We're going to try to recruit more members, and we thought, well, if we start with having some kind of project and some kind of targeted thing that students can get involved in, that they know if they participate, what is the consequence? If we raise money, where's the money going? That motivates students more than just the general nebulous concept of community service. And so that was one idea that we had, and that's been true. I've been a Circle K advisor for something like 15 of my 25 years at this college. And I took over for another Kiwanian who was the advisor before me, and he's still there. So he helps out occasionally with our projects. But anyway, that was one idea. And the other thing is that they had the idea that food equals recruiting. It's like have food at some recruiting events. And I would guess all of you would agree with that.
Yep.
We went through 10 pizzas last night.
There you go. And just to touch on Jay a little bit, your point, I think the biggest thing that I've learned in my experience in my club is that, students don't necessarily join a broad organization because there are countless organizations on campuses. They join the cause. And they join an identity. So if your club has a really strong identity, you're going to get people to come out. You look at a club that is the premier service organization on their campus, and they have specific causes that they raise money for, or they do. They're going to get a lot more members than the broad-based club that says, hey, we're a part of Kiwanis, this is kind of what we are. I think that's really important. And as advisors, right, you are there for the long haul, so you have that opportunity to kind of carry that over from year to year, and really set that tone for your student leaders. But back to the question at hand, what can CKI do better for advisors?
I think just to have more of this kind of interaction, because for many years, our Circle K club, we had only contact was our parent Kiwanis club in Kaiser, West Virginia. And now we're more connected with the West Virginia University Club because they're the parent campus. And so that helps. The CKI district advisor or district, governor has reached out to us more this last couple years than and helped us fill out paperwork to get a waiver on dues last year when we couldn't get the club going because of COVID. Because we had the restriction, we weren't allowed to meet in person, and students just didn't want to meet in club meetings virtually. So this year we're back in person, and the students seem really happy to be back on campus and joining clubs that they can go to meetings in person. That's a big draw this year. And I think that, students have had this pent up need for socialization for the last year. And I think Circle K can take advantage of that.
Yeah, and just to answer Anthony's question in the chat. So for this upcoming year, the 2021-2022 Circle K year, starting October 1st for dues, it'll still be the per club fee. And then the next upcoming year will be the per member dues that was approved this previous year at ELC. Does anyone have any other ideas or thoughts on how to better support advisors?
Well, I would suggest that maybe we should, a meeting like this thing has been very helpful. I mean, obviously I realize we got a lot of common issues, but why not include the faculty advisors? I think it would be really helpful to hear their perspective on what's going on.
So yeah, we actually have a couple of faculty advisors on the call tonight.
I'm actually a faculty advisor. I'm a Kiwanian, but I'm actually the faculty advisor.
Part of the challenges that we face is just getting the word out. We have such a large number of advisors, so we've sent out emails to those of you that we know are advisors, but we're hoping that through the Facebook group that we've started and planned calls like this, that you can even help us spread the word. And we've asked our district administrators to do that as well. So when we do this again at our next session, we hope to have even more people.
I think too, if Kiwanis advisors could make sure your faculty advisors know about it. I believe a lot of our emails get trapped in those university and college spam filters. So we're going to need you to, maybe send a carrier pigeon over or something and let them know.
Just to ask a question out of curiosity, do any Kiwanis advisors or faculty advisors not have a relationship with the other advisor? Are there any clubs that don't have a relationship with the other advisor? You just raise your hand. Or does everyone know their Kiwanis or faculty advisor?
Kyle, this is Tom DiGiulio again. I think more of the problem is you don't have either a faculty advisor or a Kiwanis advisor. You may have one or the other. And this is what brings a question to our trustee, Michael, and wondered if our Kiwanis membership should invite more college and university administrators and staff and faculty to join Kiwanis. And that might be a way to get, because I'm telling, we happen to have a Kiwanis club right on the campus of the university, which makes it ideal for the interaction, for the connections, with the number, and then that picks up on Floyd's part that, how did he get a club started? He got a club started because there was a connection. He was part of the administration, and so I think that may be a way to get more involvement. And again, if we believe that Circle K is our future, maybe we should be looking at targeting membership recruitment in the area of college and universities.
I think that's a real good point, Tom, because I was on the task force prior. I was asked by President Art Riley, and then obviously asked to be counselor by Peter Mancuso, incoming president. And I think we need that whole continuity where we have that whole transition where everybody comes to steamrolls to get more and more people involved. And the way I see it is CKI is small enough to be able to turn it around very large. So I think it's very manageable, and it's one step from where you're going out into the world, into the public, into being a Kiwanis member. And I think it has to be addressed aggressively, assertively, but that whole continuity. It can't be just your job, my job. It's how do we blend this, keep it going, and hand it off. And I'll be sharing that at the board meeting. Next week, we have the board meeting. I had a very lengthy conversation with President Kyle that I'll be sharing with the board, because the board has a responsibility too. So I think your point's well taken.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael and Tom. Brian, and then Michael, and then Michelle.
Two things I would suggest is one, if you're looking to recruit an advisor at the institution that you're working with, try calling it faculty staff advisor. I could tell you from my experience working in higher education, and many of you who are working in higher education, there's kind of a different notation if you call it faculty versus faculty staff or staff. A lot of times if it's faculty, a lot of staff members who are not faculty will assume that it's academic based and it's not for them to be able to be part of. That's one. Two, faculty members, in a lot of cases, this is not what they're looking to do. They have a lot of other things that are tied to their funding, to things that have to be done with research, and this might not work in all institutions. And so if you change the wording, and regardless of what, and no offense to the Kiwanis in the room, regardless of what the title is, faculty advisor, I assure you I am not a faculty advisor. I'm not a Kiwanian. I've been a staff advisor for 13 years. And for me, I would not have known about it if I wasn't in Circle K. I was in Circle K first. And if you call it a faculty/staff advisor, you will get some of those young upcoming staff advisors who are looking to show themselves off a little bit to the school so they can move into other positions as they grow as leader in their own right. That would be my first suggestion is don't just call it a faculty advisor when you're trying to recruit someone on campus. My other thing would be is if there's a way, Kyle, for y'all to set up some sort of a mentorship program where you take someone who's been, like someone said, I don't know, they've been a faculty advisor for as long as I've been alive. So I'm sure I can learn something from them. A couple of tricks of the trade that I've never even heard of. And conversely, I've been doing this for 13 years. So someone who's like, hey, everybody, I forgot where you were on the screen. Curtis has been and welcome to the club, friend, as far as faculty advisor goes. Curtis has been a faculty advisor for less time than it's been cool weather around New Jersey. You know what I mean? So like, it's maybe some kind of a mentorship program where we connect one-on-one, you exchange emails or something, you're bouncing ideas. How did your club meeting go? How did yours go? So on and so forth. Something like that might really, might be something that's beneficial for some of those younger people so they don't get overwhelmed and walk away because they're not connected to Kiwanis in all cases. So the only thing they need to do to walk away from it is go like this, peace sign and walk out and they're done. So that might be something to think about.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. And then Michael and Michelle.
I think another difficult thing is, at least I know at Rutgers, the technical faculty advisor is their student activity, student life advisor. My role at Rutgers is actually considered like club mentor. So I think that's kind of the other difficult part is, the faculty advisor, staff advisor might have 60 or 70 other clubs they're in charge of, and that's their job. So, they're going to only be involved when the club is coming to them for whatever reason it may be. They're not going to be the proactive one. So I think that's another challenge that clubs could be facing as well.
So thank you, Michael. Michelle.
In the homecoming link that I sent you, there are kind of pitch materials for including to get new advisors for faculty advisors. And we were able to work with our service and partnership group to extend our Kiwanis benefits and discounts in some of our partners to those faculty advisors, and you'll find all of those details there. So it may not be the biggest thing in the world, but it's just another way to show our appreciation and thanks to those non-Kiwanis advisors, just to show our appreciation and extend those benefits and discounts and perks to them.
Thank you, Michelle. Does anyone have anything else? Yeah.
I would like to say something. The chat box I haven't looked at, there's 58 chats in there, and there's a lot of information, no doubt. So if you guys could compile that and get it out in an email to everybody, that's gonna, we won't lose that valuable information. The other thing I want to make a comment about the faculty staff advisor versus calling him a faculty advisor. My wife is the faculty advisor at Royal High School Key Club here in Simi Valley. And one of her best faculty advisors was actually a staff member. She was awesome, but it was kind of a, hey, she's really not faculty. It's called faculty advisor. So we gotta look at Kiwanis to change their terminology there. Now, presently, they do have a faculty advisor who is truly outstanding, but I think it'd be a smart move. I think the same thing happened out at Simi Valley High School too. We had a more of a staff person that really played that role for a while. Okay.
Awesome, thank you.
Would that have to be a bylaw change?
Yeah, it's in the, there's an article in the bylaws. It's the club's section, I don't know, article or something. Yeah, but it is a bylaws change. But yeah. Does anyone have any other questions? Any thoughts? It's 9 o'clock. I don't want to keep, or 10 o'clock Eastern. Yeah, go ahead.
I just had something quick. We receive those of us who are advisors at different levels of youth clubs. One of the requirements they've added in the last few years is a background check. And I've had trouble where I get a background check, I pay my money for, and I pay money out of my own pocket to get that done. And I send that certification in, and then like 6 months later, I get another email saying, you've got to do another background check. And it just seems like when I do a background check, the information is not logged, and it seems to we have to seem to do these background checks so often. It seems like every maybe 2 or 3 years for those of us who've been doing it is plenty. I mean, but it seems like they're not getting my background check information. And so basically I've just started ignoring them, the emails about background checks.
Jay,
I don't know if that's an issue that you can address.
Jay, we'd be happy to help you. So I actually used to do the youth protection program before I'm in the role I'm in now. So I'd be happy to help you. We can get into our system in the back end and figure out what's up. So I'll message you here on the side and get your email and everything. Okay. Anybody else have any background checks? I can pass you, we can get you with Melissa tomorrow and figure it all out. But it's every 2 years. We won't spam you every 6 months.
I think it's because it just never got entered into the system, not because it's that often.
Well, it should all be automated, but maybe we just want to hang out and talk with you. So we'll get it sorted out.
Awesome. Well, does anyone have any final thoughts before we wrap it up here?
I just want to say real quick, Kyle, again, we are, Kyle, you have the date for the next one, so let's not forget to talk about that. But again, we really want to kind of step up our game in supporting you all. So we'll be doing these more frequently. Please check out the website for especially you new advisors, for the advisor guides. And if you have ideas, please let us know. We're going to be developing some online on-demand training and hopefully even doing some things around our convention. Maybe we'll be calling it an educational leadership conference again, but anyway, these are great ideas and we really, really appreciate it. And thanks to Kyle and Leah and the team for putting this together.
Awesome. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much for attending.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you. Let's keep doing these.
Did you say when the next
Night.
meeting was?
When is
December
it?
9th.
Say it again, Kyle.
It's going to be December 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Is this a good time for y'all? Just let me ask that right now. Is 9 p.m. too late?
Past my bedtime.
Ah, David, I'm sorry, man.
Works for me.
I figured it was late because people on the West Coast are 3 hours earlier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock here.
See, Floyd's just going to eat dinner, you know? David's getting ready to go to bed. So here we are, international organization.
I had to rush dinner pretty fast to get to this.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you, Floyd.
Well, again, we'll send out more notification about the next one as we get closer. Again, please encourage other advisors that you know to join the Facebook group and to attend these in the future. So again, thanks everyone for being here tonight.
Thank you guys for having it for us.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
I'll be at the next meeting.
Michelle, do we have another meeting? Is there one more?
Oh, right, you didn't get the 10 to 11 memo?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Jeff maybe sent it, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, maybe Jeff sent it. As I say, I got this one. I didn't get the 10 to
Probably in
11
your
memo.
spam.
It probably is. Or
Yeah.
if it starts at 7 tomorrow morning, that's fine too. I'll be there.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good job, Jeff.